Welcome to the Friday, December 5th edition of the Morning Update, and we have great news. Your president, Donald J. Trump, just tossed another affordability grenade over the wall. If you forgot, the original reason the Democrats shut down the government was because of an affordability argument that they adopted along the way. Geez, healthcare isn't very affordable. They completely ignored how it was entirely their fault that was why, and they were using it as an excuse to support and extend grotesque excess subsidies to a failed program. Money, money, money. The president grabbed onto that narrative after they just started trying to beat him with it and beat them back. Well, we were giving all this money to insurance companies, not to actual people, so they could make choices about the cost of their health care. Well, he's back. Biden's CAF standards were set to crank up mileage demands from manufacturers, but Donald Trump has just said no. What would effectively add a huge sum to the cost of an automobile over the next few years has been put to death. From ABC News. President Trump took consistent jabs at Democrats as he announced from the Oval Office on Wednesday that his administration is reversing vehicle fuel efficiency standards that were put into place by former President Joe Biden. We're officially terminating Joe Biden's ridiculously burdensome, horrible CAF standards that impose expensive restrictions, gave all sorts of problems to automakers, Trump said. And we're not talking about here. We're talking about outside the country. He's talking about CAF standards for every vehicle in the United States, no matter where it's built or where it comes from. Those are dead. I expect lawsuits. Wouldn't you expect lawsuits? It's always about lawsuits. So anyway, jumping over to Jeff Childers at Coffee and COVID. In 2016, the Heritage Foundation estimated that the CAF standards added $6,200 to the average price of a new car. That was in 2016 dollars. And if it was before Biden cranked the regulatory vice so tightly, you could almost hear the auto industry's ribs cracking. Don't freak out, liberals. Trump didn't get rid of CAF standards. He just got rid of Biden's unrealistic CAF standards. The new standards will be realistic. Automakers will be involved. Everybody is still looking for fuel efficiency increases. They're just not demanding it at an impossible level that can't be reached without, well, a few prayers. And the result is that the rising cost of an automobile will slow down and possibly go the other way. And you also have to remember, and this is very important, and this should apply to everything, Trump is going to beat them to death with the affordability narrative. Democrats can't begin to compete. And I've written about it in a bunch of places, including on Granite Rock and my Substack. A Democrat wouldn't know affordability if it bit them in the ass. Not one thing they propose, have done, or might do makes life or living more affordable. Quite the opposite, and there are more than enough historical examples. Pick a Dem-run city. Mayors and councils drive people out of the middle class and into poverty and homelessness while forcing businesses to leave because they can no longer afford to do business. City-run stores are a response to Democrats having made it too expensive for private companies to do business there. Democrats know this. The layers of bureaucracy, taxes, fees, top-heavy regulations, and permitting and inspection regimes can more than triple the cost of doing anything, which means affordable housing can never be affordable. Not ever. Taxpayers have to cover the cost of the regulatory state, which makes it impossible, and then for the subsidies necessary to make the cost of living in them appear affordable. So your argument against the affordability narrative that Democrats continue to wield is one, it's bullshit. And two, they're just going to make it more expensive. There is no evidence that they could do otherwise. The only way they can make something appear more affordable is to take money out of your pocket and give it to somebody else who will then pretend to lower the price because they're getting a subsidy. Democrats can't run on affordability because there's no proof that they would ever be able to deliver. That's it. We'll talk to you on Monday. Don't forget a new Grok Talk coming up Monday night. All kinds of reasons to check out granitegrok.com every single day of the year, 365 days a year. Thanks again. We'll see you next week.